Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Sheed, in your testimony, you discussed how some land ports of entry were built over 70 years ago, and the ports of entry constructed as recently as 15 years ago are not able to accommodate the growing demands of additional processing capacity, new security requirements, or even enforcement technologies. Sir, have design requirements evolved in the last 15 years, and how are they being incorporated into ports of entry that GSA is constructing today?
Certainly. So I would venture to say that 15 years ago there was very little in terms of design standards for the ports of entry. I think that's been one of the successes between the relationship of CBP and DHS, or CBP and GSA, that in the past 10 years or so we've identified standards for ports of entry. From CBP's perspective, that's of interest because we like to have a certain degree of interchangeability in the facilities. Officers will move from facility to facility, even within a particular day. And so having a certain standardization is helpful from us from that standpoint. Certainly for the projects that we own, we find that it's more economical to be able to build off of a particular standard rather than essentially recreating each project from scratch.
Mr. Gelber, there has been much discussion today about the pilot donation acceptance program. Does GSA envision this program growing in scope, and how many donations have actually been executed? And also, what are the lessons learned since this pilot commenced?
I think the key lesson learned, if I could answer the latter part of your question first, is the ongoing need, which we've demonstrated, for GSA and CBP to closely collaborate on reviewing these items, and we do that on a regular basis. For the fiscal year 2015 cycle, 3 donations were accepted. Over, I believe, 8 were submitted. Many more may have been cleared. The process is CBP reviews them first, and then GSA and CBP review those that have made the initial screening together. The two are in the cities of Donna and Pharr, Texas. And their provision is for additional inspection booths and some additional inspection lanes. In El Paso, Texas, the provision is to remove 2 traffic medians that are currently obstructing traffic. So these are relatively modest changes to the facility, but they still need to be looked at to ensure that when that construction occurs, it's done in a fashion that's appropriate and doesn't create a problem for the government in the long term. And so we view the donation program as an opportunity to assist CBP meet its mission requirements at smaller stations. Larger infrastructure improvements are more challenging and require greater attention by the government, and as such haven't seen the large-scale donations that we've seen in the donation program.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you. The chair recognizes